Assalamualaikum Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. Thank you very much for kindly consenting to appear for Central TV's Dinar and Dirham Islamic Finance Magazine. Let's cut to the chase. In your last year in office, you initiated the minting of the first dinar in Malaysia. What led you to initiate such initiative with the Royal Mint dinar?
No, if there was any minting at all, it is merely to not to be used as currency for the purpose of purchasing anything. It is just for collection.
Right. So, having said that, you were also a proponent of having the dinar used in international trade as a means of settling trade between two or more countries. What made you think that the initiative did not take off? Because your successor, Dr. Abdullah Badawi, and the current Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Najib, also did not seem to have taken the initiative to the next step.
Well, obviously, if we use the dinar and dirham for the settlement of trade transaction, the US dollar will not be used. If the US dollar is not used, then it will have no value. There will be no demand for US dollar. Currently, the value of US dollar is based entirely on demand for US dollar for the settlement of trade transactions, international trade.
So, given the reason US shut down of the economy, do you think that the US dollar is still a viable currency for international trade?
The US dollar has no backing whatsoever. It is not backed by gold. It is also not backed by the reserves held by the US or by its the good situation of its economy and finance.
Right.
So it's not suitable.
So if US dollar is not suitable, then what is the alternative? Would it be the euro, or do we need to have a Nusantara or an ASEAN currency in response to this?
Even the euro is not suitable now. It was before, when Europe was doing well. The yen could have been used, but again the yen too is having problem. So what we can do is to trade in our own national currency, or to practically barter, or to create a special trading currency such as the dinar, not to be used for domestic transaction but purely for the settlement of trade between nations.
But if we were, can you elaborate further? I mean, there are proponents, you were saying that it's as a settlement of trade between nations, but there are proponents who are actually now on the ground using dinar and dirham as a means of exchange in lieu or at the expense of local currencies. What do you have to say about this?
Well, dinar and dirham can be used as an ordinary currency, but not as gold coins. Now, if you think about dinar and dirham as gold coins and silver coins, what will happen is that people who obtain the coins will keep the coins. They will not use the coins because they know the value of gold will appreciate. So whatever they keep will appreciate in value. On the other hand, if you use fiat money, paper currency, it will depreciate over time. So when you substitute fiat money with coins made of gold or silver, people will not want to part with the coins that they obtain. They will keep the coins, and that means that every time a mint issues gold coins and silver coins, it will disappear from the market.
Agree with you, Tun. At the same time, the so-called champion of the US dollar in the United States itself, initiatives have been taken to legalize the use of gold and silver coins as a means of settling taxes. Two states, Utah and South Carolina, have legalized the acceptance of gold and silver coins as a means of paying taxes, assessment. So on one hand, the US dollar seems to be in the market. I mean, they are using terms like quantitative easing, monetary easing. But on the other hand, even their own people, with the initiative taken by 3 states to have legalized and ratified the laws, and there's I think about 14 or 15 more states who are in the process of doing so, are saying that we want to accept gold and silver coins. So on one hand, you were saying that we need to use the gold as a settlement for international trade and not use it because the question of hoarding comes to the picture. But on the other hand, even states in the United States of America and certain countries in Europe and even Israel are meeting their gold coins as currency. What's happening now?
No, when we talk about gold, dinar and dirham, it is not about issuing coins of gold and silver. It is backing with gold. So much money is equivalent to so much gold or silver. But actual gold will not be used for payment because there's not enough gold to cover the amount of trade that is going on in this world. At the same time, in a country, if you use gold, I said just now, people will hoard the gold. They will not use it as currency. So if the US states issue gold, it will disappear from the market. If they say it is gold currency backed by gold, but actually it is still paper, and they will not issue paper without gold as a reserve, or the strength of the economy as backing, then the gold will not be in the market for long. People will take the coins and not give back.
Right. So, before we end this segment, assuming you have a magic wand, and how would you like to see the dinar dirham initiative being taken to the next step by the powers that be in Malaysia right now?
Well, we should enter into an agreement with a partner, a trading partner, and we should then agree that payment should be based on gold. And once you determine the price of anything in gold, the other side will know exactly in their own currency what that means, what is the price in their own currency, and we will know what is the price in the Malaysian currency. So then when we are buying something, we know the value because it is computed against gold, and they will know the price that they are selling because again they are basing it on gold value. So that will facilitate trade. But actual transfer of gold need not take place because what you can do is to have a central clearing house for trade so that you will know what is the balance of trade, in whose favor is this. And if it is in one country's favor, then you can, if you want to, pay for the balance only in gold. So the total amount of gold used would be very minimal. And if you don't want to settle it in gold, then you can carry it ahead so that in the next year, if you have a surplus, then that will be valued against the amount that is still owing to you, or you are owing to the other party in the previous year.
Right. Dr. Mahathir, in the first segment, you seem to have the solutions to how to take the dinar dirham initiative forward in Malaysia. What do you think seems to be holding back the authorities or the situation in Malaysia from taking the initiative further?
As I said just now, we are afraid that America will not feel happy about this because basically it will bankrupt America. So they will not allow this to happen, and most countries are afraid of America.
Right. Is it just America, or is it the European Euro as well, or?
Well, America is very belligerent. It does not hesitate to go to war in order to protect its own interests.
Right. So on another note, you have been instrumental in setting up the Islamic finance or the Islamic banking system in Malaysia when you were in office. Are you happy with what's developing now, or is there room for improvements that you feel that we could have taken it to another level as well?
Like the conventional banking, all the time there are new products being introduced, new system being introduced. It's the same with Islamic banking. You have to meet the needs, the demands of the market. And if there is a demand for a certain way of financing, then you will have to find out how you can do it without breaching Islamic tenets. So presently I see that the people involved in Islamic banking are trying to cope with the demand. And they cannot always be just saying, well, no interest. But then there must be a replacement for that, because you cannot lend money to people and not be paid back for the risk that you have taken. You see, it's your money. If he loses the money, he doesn't pay you, then you're not going to lend him money. You see, so in order to make Islamic banking viable, there must be a return on investment, because each lending, each loan is an investment for the bank.
Right.